Hey everyone, what is up? Welcome back to Fate Stay Night. We will be resuming Heaven's Feel. I don't have much else to say. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. As always, excited to continue playing. Man, there's still so much left to figure out, so that's every episode. It's so nice to get back. Maybe get some answers. Probably just get more questions, but the town falls asleep. It's just past 10 o'clock, but it seems like it's midnight. It must be because of all of the unexplained comas. There are no lights. Nobody's walking about.
あの影を探し出し調査する。アーチャーのマスターも無茶を言ってくれますね。
Yeah, no kidding.
ああ、けどやるしかないだろ。セイバーは反対か？
私の考えは朝に告げた通りです。それでシロ、何か手がかりはあるのですか？闇雲に街を巡回するのでは逆に的にされかねない。
That's very true. A clue, huh? I'm not positive, but... I feel like we're more likely to find something at the Ryuudou Temple, but I feel like we're also a lot more likely to die there. We die, we die. I think that's how you spell it. Pretty sure it's 2 U's.
もう一度竜道寺に行ってみよう。今にして思うと、あの時のキャスターはどこか変だった。
そうですね。あの山には不吉な気配が満ちています。この町で最も霊的な手が加えられているのはあの土地ですから。
I feel like we're more likely to
あの
find
影とは
something.
別に一度調べてみる価値はある。
I thought Saber was done talking. Like we're a lot more likely to find something there. It's more will something find us there, right? Is whatever that shadow is gonna kill us? Are we gonna just roll into assassin's territory?
なら決まりだ。早速行こう。
We walk to the gate. We can reach the temple in an hour if we hurry. We don't have any time to lose, but...
セイバ
Saber's looking at the outbuilding. She's looking at Sakura's room, where Sakura should now be sleeping.
シロ、戦いに赴く前に話があります。その朝の続きなのですが。
Alright, what's up?
ー。朝ってさくらのことか？
はい。さくらは自責の念が強すぎる。起きてしまったこと、犯してしまった間違いを彼女は未来ではなく現在で償おうとする嫌いがあります。
She must be talking about the quarrel they had yesterday. Saber said Sakura was right, so Sakura had no reason to worry about it. But Sakura said she was still at fault, went and apologized to Saber, and had Saber apologize to her instead. Sakura and Saber. Saber must be worried about the difference in their thought process.
それはどういう？
さくらは自分を責めすぎるのです。過ちを正すことより悔いることを強要している。だから汚名を返上しようとするのではなく、汚名を刻みつけようとしてしまう。良くも悪くも彼女は自分を重くしている。
It's kind of what I said yesterday, isn't it? Like when I saw that, like, it's not normal behavior to like punish herself like that. I don't think I specifically said instead of correcting whatever she's done, but it was clear to me that that was just not normal. Also, I always love when the song plays. She talks with disgust. Sounds like she's talking about herself more than about Sakura.
昨夜、私はそれを強く感じました。シローと共にいる時の彼女が特別で、普段はもっと別のものではないのかと。さくらはあなたといる時だけ自責の念から解放されている。
That is the source of her concern. Sakura should be able to live with pride without needing to rely on another.
そうか。確かにさくらは内気すぎるからな。俺も気をつけてみる。
Now that Saber mentions it, it's not healthy for a girl Sakura's age to always be busy helping around the house. She says it's fun to be here, but you should at least go outside to hang out once in a while.
ありがと
no
う、
kidding.
セイバー。さくらを心配してくれて。聖杯戦争に関係ないさくらを気にかけてくれたのはすごく嬉しい。
いいえ、自責に駆られる彼女の気持ちは私にもあったものです。ですから他人事には思えなかったのでしょう。
Yeah, I was gonna say when it was which line? Yeah, this line right here. They literally said as much. Seems more talking about herself than Sakura. Right, yeah, I feel like Saber just sees a lot of similarities between them in some ways. That's part of why she's so concerned.
待てよ、セイバー。一緒に行こ
We head to the gate together. We head outside within the silence, trying not to wake Sakura up. We climb over the no trespassing fence into the temple. The Ryuudou temple is now treated as important material evidence in the coma incident, and no one is allowed to enter. The night air is not any different. It's warm and it smells like ripe fruit.
う。中に入るぞ、セイバ
はい。シロも気をつけて。
ー。分かってる。危険を察知したらすぐに教えてくれ。
We go through the compound and climb up to the entryway. The wooden hallway is dark, and the floor creaks with each step.
とりわけ変わったものはないか。
うん
セイバー、どうだ？
Really?
私も同じです。ですがこの一帯が異常なのは確かです。この山に踏み入った時から私たちは異なる常識に取り込まれている。これだけ魔力が満ちていながら異常を感じないことこそが異常と言えるでしょう。
そうだな。よし、もう少し調べてみよう。この寺、
Uh-oh.
裏側に池があるんだ。あっちの方にもいくつか建物がある。
That's where things get dangerous. It is said that a dragon lives in that lake. There may be a clue at the place people consider holy. Well, that's not even that far from the truth. We go into the hallway and head behind the temple. At that instant...
シロ!
Oh, yeah, assassin jumped us, huh?
セイバー!
I'm shoved back into the temple by Saber. I realize Saber has pushed me. Try to go back onto the hallway and... Oh, did she just close the door on us? The exit is shut firmly by Saber.
セイバー! おい、何のつもりだ、バカ!
I bang on the door. I don't know what kind of magic it is, but the door is as hard as steel.
何やってんだ! 開けろ, セイバー!
The door refuses to budge, even when I throw my weight against it. And from the other side of the steel-like door...
そこで身を守っていてください、シロ。この相手は確実にあなただけを狙ってくる。
What? What do you mean, please protect yourself there? Maybe it wasn't Assassin? Maybe it was the Shadow? Like, why... Well, neither of those really make sense. Why would she just... I mean, I guess she thinks we're safe, but then why would she say, please protect yourself there?
敵ってなんだ? あの影が!
違います。ですがマスターにとって天敵と言えるサーバントです。申し訳ありませんが、あなたが戦場にいては守りきれない。あのサーバント、アサシンには一騎打ちで臨まなければ先にマスターを叩かれてしまう。
アサシンだって。
I didn't even sense him. Even though the air is strange here, a servant's presence is a different matter. The magical energy should be apparent if a servant takes form near us. If we hit his presence, I should be able to tell, let alone Saber.
一撃で決着をつけます。それまでそこを離れないでください。
Imagine if it was actually that simple. Saber's presence fades. Her footsteps are loud. She must have repelled Assassin's attacks as she charged within range.
こうなったら。
I look around. Uh-oh. I pick up a stick that's about the size of a wooden sword and strengthen it immediately. I have to make this into a sword and break open this door. An ominous feeling, a mysterious uneasiness, fills my mind. This place. Feels like a fatal mistake to leave Saber by herself on this mountain, so I have to hurry and... The lights go out. No, there was no light to begin with. The moonlight has been blocked off by clouds. Smell something. The smell of rotten meat and sounds of bugs flying around.
また造形
I glare into the darkness.
飛んで火にいるとはまさにお主よな。エニアの小せがれ。
Not that surprising, unfortunately. I think we're dead. A snicker. It's that old Magus. He's hiding somewhere.
セイバー
I ready the strengthened weapon. I have no fear, even with a centuries-old monster in front of me. Man. I hope that somehow by watching Archer swing his swords, like, once, he's just like, projection magic. Be nice, huh? The only thoughts in my mind are of concern for Saber. Interlude. It's an interlude, isn't it? Yep. Yeah, they hit us with a nice little cliffhanger, huh? If it's an interlude, that means we're likely actually on the right path. Not necessarily. Have we seen interludes in the wrong path before? I don't know, actually. I can't think of one, but it's possible. She runs across the hallway to corner the skull mask. The 15 meters between them have been reduced to 5. Saber should be able to close in with one step and slash her enemy along with the skull mask. But the enemy knows that as well. He uses projectile weapons because he knows he will be no match at close range, and he retreats because he does not want her coming near him. Although not as fast as Saber, the skull still retreats with the speed of a running beast. He slithers across the floor, not slowing down even at the corners. Does he have eyes on the back of his head? Or is it the mask on the back of his head? Assassin steadily retreats from his opponent, maintaining the distance between them. Hold on, something I want to quickly look at. So much for that. I was trying to see if the things we've seen sound like an accurate comparison to Lancer. Maybe I'm a little too sold on this theory, right, about Assassin being able to take many different forms. But running like a beast sure sounds a lot like Lancer, I'm not gonna lie. Good old Hound of Ulster. Assassin steadily retreats from his opponent, maintaining the distance between them. A spray of sparks. 3 daggers are released without any motion, but have no effect against Saber. Like Lancer, Saber has protection against projectile weapons. Lancer reads the course of the projectile attack using the sound of cutting air and the enemy's murderous intent. Saber uses the sound of cutting air and her own instincts. Imperceivable attacks are not much of a threat against heroic spirits. It is those attacks that cannot be blocked, even when detected and understood, that are the fatal ones. In that regard, Lancer's lance is appropriate to be called a noble phantasm. A weapon that always strikes the heart cannot be blocked merely by knowing about it. If one is to oppose that demonic lance, one must prepare a shield overwhelming the magical energy of the lance, have great enough luck to change the fate determined by the lance, or prevent him from using the lance in the first place. Yeah, I think the third one is the most effective way to do that. Especially because we know that shield wasn't quite enough in Unlimited Blade Works. It was enough to not get Archer killed, but compared to that, Assassin's daggers are easy to manage. They can be fatal if they strike any vital points, but they are no different from throwing stones. Over 40 dirks have been thrown. Having used up a supply of daggers, Assassin finally stops. Saber stops as well, hesitating. The enemy that did not want her to come close has stopped. I have a feeling that's an excellent instinct. There's something for sure, and an ominous feeling surrounds Assassin. This is no situation where she can step in without care.
観念したのか、アサシン。
Saber knows it is best to kill Assassin now, but she takes a step back in spite of that. She should not advance. The instincts she has sharpened over the years that have kept her alive for a long time. Those instincts are screaming. Do not advance. Stay away from the deep darkness.
ああ、観念したともセイバー。こちらは弾切れだ。
こうなっては一撃で下されると覚悟したのだが、なぜ近寄らぬのかな。
This is clearly a trap, right? Whether they're near the pond, right, and he plans to use that again, or it's my theory that I've had, right, where he can use the abilities of those he kills, and he just suddenly is like, hello, I am using Lancer's lance, or his defensive abilities, right, to bait Saber in. I don't know. I feel like it's got to be one of those two things, probably. We'll see, though. Maybe. Saber does not answer and raises her sword a bit. She points her sword at her enemy. There's 7 meters between them. It will take 2 steps to get close enough to strike. As a swordsman, she must close in on her opponent. But she has a secret technique that can be used at all ranges, though it can be used only once. Assassin's black cloak flutters. He has no idea where the wind is coming from. She's about to use her noble phantasm on him. She's like, you know what? I don't trust it. You're just getting nuked from 10 feet away.
私などに語る口は持たぬか。まあいい。語るは自由だ。思う通りに語らせてもらおうか。
Assassin's voice is strong and clear, in contrast to his appearance. Saber narrows her eyes, thinking that his voice is similar to that of Lancer's. Come on. It has to be, right?
しかし、よくもまあ弾いたものだ。私の探検、見せないつもりで撃っていたのだが、お前には見えていたのか。
実像は見えてはいないが、奇跡ならば読み取れる。見えないものを恐れるようなら、このような剣は持たん。
Fair. The skull laughs in agreement. What can he do, throwing black daggers at an opponent armed with an invisible sword? Assassin keeps on laughing, being displayed with the great difference in the strength of their noble phantasms and their level as heroic spirits.
そうか。私など初めから敵ではなかったのだな。所詮アサシン。まっとうな英霊に太刀打ちできるはずもない。もとより我らは影に潜むもの。
What?
故に我らが役割は暗殺のみ。サーバントではなくマスターを殺すしか能のないなり損ないがアサシンなのだ。
So is that the trap?
さて、となると私の標的はただ一人だけだ。理解できるかね、セイバー。私の行動は全て君の主を仕留めるためだけのものだと。
シロ。
Man, you better hope he figured something out
さ
in
よ
there.
う。お前の主は我が雇い主がもてなしている。私を引き離したところで急がねば虫どもの餌食だぞ。
Light emanates from Saber's sword. Or rather, the golden sword is revealing its true shape. Is she about to use it? Oh snap.
ほう。風のまじないで刀身を隠していたか。なるほど。その風圧ならばその場からでも私を立てる。わざわざ七に踏み込むこともないというわけか。
The black cloak sinks. The prey he was supposed to learn turns out to have a projectile attack. There's no place for schemes now. If Saber tends to kill Assassin without coming close, then he must close the distance himself to kill her first.
立場が逆になったな、アサシン。この風王結界、見事踏み込んでみせるか。
ひどい女だ。イナゴの群れに飛び込めという。さりとて、このままでは竜の方向が放たれる。これは身体極まったか。
If he has it, now's the time to reveal like any extra powers, right? So I guess we'll most likely see here in a second. My theory's right or not. The skull mask crawls on the ground. It looks like a spider on a wall. The compressed wind becomes a swirl of vacuum about to be released at Assassin. He must be insane. Does he think he can survive the fatal whirlwind simply by lying on the ground?
さて、どう見てもこれで最後になろう。その前に語らせてもらおうか、セイバー。お前は1対1ならば私に勝つと言ったな。
This is it, right? This is it? Saber raises her sword. He cannot withdraw even when he is talking. Saber's staring at Assassin. Even if Assassin were to teleport, she would kill him before it even took place.
だからこそ私をマスターから引き離した。 主を守るというその判断は正しい。
Her sword is raised above her head. With the attack poised to strike, Assassin crawls even lower.
だがそこにはお前自身を守るということが含まれていたのかな。
An inquiring voice. To that.
先を急ぐ。さらばだアサシン。
Saber replies with a single attack. The match is decided. The windstorm is like a heavenly dragon, its serpentine body winding about to devour its prey. There's no chance of defense or evasion. This is like Lancer's lance. This is a blow that cannot be blocked unless one has more magical energy than invisible air. Assassin's magical energy is far short of Saber's. The only way for him to survive the attack was to prevent Saber from releasing it. That is too late, and the whirlwind has been released. His black cloak will be torn to shreds a mere second after the blade descends. The dislocation of death closes in with a swirl. With that in front of him,
神は偉大なり。
Assassin charges at the wave of vacuum with a yell of delight. What is he doing? That was an attack aimed for the neck. Saber repels it at once, and the black figure vaults overhead to land behind her.
おのれ。
In a flash, she turns around and slashes behind her, but Assassin has already jumped out of range. At the same time, the ominous presence she has been feeling has covered the ground beneath her.
さて2つほど運がなかったな、セイバー。
What just happened? The shadow expands. The mud-like pollution invades on her silver. Ooh, okay. Yeah, that sounds like the ground.
一つは相性。陣よけのまじないは砂漠を行く者には必須でな。
Oh, that's
私
tough.
が知る唯一の魔術が
Yikes.
風よけの皆であり。
That is tough. Darkness swallows the pathway. A shadow that does not even reveal itself in spite of the white moonlight. And she sees it dimly through the haze of her fading consciousness.
アサシン。貴様は。
そうだセイバー。もう一つはこの場所を戦いの場に選んだことだ。ここには良くないものが住むと。
Yikes.
お前は気づいていたはずなのだがな。
He's using it again. God, man. That is not good. Does that mean this is a bad end, or is this intentional? She cannot even hear Assassin's words. She would disappear in a matter of seconds. This shadow swallows servants. Her body detests it before her fading mind. She does not care how. She has to escape, even if she has to use all her magical energy. Only her feet have been engulfed. If she fights with all her powers, she can still break free. Even if she may lose most of her magical energy in both her feet, escaping the shadow is the top priority now. But
そうはいかん。お前はここで消えるぞ、セイバー。
the shadow is not her only enemy. The skull, watching Saber get swallowed, is death that finishes her off.
初めから。
1対1ならば勝てると言ったな、セイバー。そう。それが間違いだ。お前は1人。こちらは2つ。私はただ、お前の注意を削ぐだけでよかった。
The shadow keeps invading. Her existence rots from her feet. She cannot feel her toes or her feet. Her legs are already something that does not exist in this world.
サーバントはそのあるやるに抗えん。お前が真っ当な英霊ならばなおさらだ。比較的近い私でさえ、触れれば魔力を奪われる。純正であるお前では、触れられただけで正気を失おう。
I don't know how to say that.
だが、それは惜しい。むざむざお前を消滅させては、私の目的は果たせない。お前の心臓は、私がもらう。
お前が 私を。
おかしいか。探検は底をつき、私とて影には近づけぬ。その私がお前を仕留めるのは不可能だと。
Murderous intent lights up in the skull. Faint traces of magical energy gather in his right arm. Assassin's right arm is a stick. A deformed arm without a hand cannot be used as an arm. It cannot hold a dagger, nor can it be used to strike someone. But now, that arm bends. With the snap of breaking bones, it flaps like a tattered wing. Excuse me? What? What is this? It is an abomination, yeah, no kidding. This is disgusting. What a long arm. Yeah, that boy, he activated Go-Go Gadget Extendo arm. The clubbed stump at its end was actually the elbow. The arm was folded back at the elbow, with the hand stitched to Assassin's shoulder. That is horrifying. Saber's mind freezes. It will reach. That arm can reach her. It will reach her and rip out her heart. His arm flaps, sending a shudder through her body, and... the cursed arm is thrust like a lance. A sound of cutting meat and gushing blood. Blood drips onto the floor, staining the shadow in crimson. Madness leaks out from the skull mask. The outstretched arm is stained red. After finishing its job, the arm folds back to Assassin. And is severed at the elbow. Saber's not gonna go that easy. Not going that easy. Her upraised sword falls to the ground. Assassin's cursed arm did not reach Saber. Saber's sword has cut the cursed arm before it could gouge out the reflected image of her heart. No matter how cornered she may be, Assassin's noble phantasm is not enough to kill Saber. No. As she has blocked the Lancer's lance, which reverses cause and effect, she cannot allow herself to be defeated by this cursed arm. Yeah, but that's not going to matter here in a second. But that is her last act of resistance. She has put the power to escape into the attack. She has no power to escape now, and even if she did, it is too late. The ominous presence now emanates from within herself. The shadow has invaded her legs and is now up to her waist. She's becoming a part of this darkness, which swallows up even the moonlight. Then, everything is too late. The shadow creeps up. As her vision fades, the Silver Swordsman... Are we actually losing Saber again? And it just one last apologetic gasp before sinking into the deep mud. We actually just lost Saber again. Oh my god. And yeah, it didn't immediately bad end us. I think that's actually the story. Oh my god. Are you serious? Are you serious? Yikes. We don't even know what took her. Right? The black mud makes me think the Grail, but I don't know. I don't know for sure. Right? Because I'm almost positive they mentioned the black mud. It might be, I think it's probably... No? No, the mud-like pollution. There it is. Wow. I just barely was able to read that again. That sounds suspiciously like the Holy Grail. I'm just saying, man, I feel like this route's gonna really go in depth about the Grail. Like, and what it is. I think it truly is. That's just a feeling, but... Oh my god. We lost Saber again. What the heck are we gonna do now? Well, I hope we get back on that, like... I hope we get that Unlimited Blade Work Shiro back. I'm just saying. We're gonna need him to train with Archer or something, man. Good lord. That doesn't even address the imminent threat right now. Montozoken is standing there, his figure just like before. His body, which Archer sliced in two before my eyes, is whole once more. The old magus that could only wait for death is laughing, as if that event was an illusion. I don't know how he did it, but if he really did recover from that state, it's more on a level of restoration than recovery. It's not just healing a wound. It takes great magic to restore a piece of one's body that has been lost. Then, isn't this called immortality?
さて、そのような棒切れ一本で何をしようというのかな、小僧。
I stand there while pointing the strengthened stick at Zoken. I can't charge at Zoken, nor can I retreat to follow Saber. If Zoken is immortal, a scrap of wood will never be able to match him.
わしを仕留めるか、サーバントの後を追うか。どちらにせよ、足を動かさねば始まるまいて。
Yeah, we need Tosaka to roll up like yesterday. Oh man, separating here was a terrible plan. Something is squirming around the old Magus as he speaks. No, it's not just his surroundings. The darkness itself is moving, blocking the moonlight. I can tell, even though I can't see them. The darkness is probably swarms of worms. The walls of this temple are covered in something darker than darkness itself. This space is filled with the sound of creeping worms and the smell of rotten meat.
どうした？何をためらう？先日わしの腹を立ってくれたのはお主たちであろう。当坂の小娘と組んでわしを始末する腹ではなかったのか？
It's obvious that he is enjoying this. I can't fight off thousands of worms with just this stick. I'll be swallowed in those worms once Zoken gives the order. Or maybe. I might be able to escape if I sprint for the exit. They're just worms, even if it is a horde of them. It should take them more than a few seconds to kill a human being.
よいぞ。わしはいくらでも待とう。セイバーの帰還を信じて待ち続けるか、その武器でわしを仕留めるか、それとも我が虫どもを振り払い外に出るか、好きな死に方を選ぶがよい。
Yikes. That's a terrible spot to be in, especially knowing Saber's not returning. Seems he has no intention of letting me go. The worms increase in number as we stand here glaring at one another. Then... Trust Saber's return. Use command spell attack Zoken. Those are the options, right? Yep. This is the type where if I mess it up, I'm going to die, I think. I think I'm gonna go with Trust Saber and wait for her. Because attacking Zoken seems like it's just immediate death. Use my command spell is like oh, you're trying to summon Saber. Well, too bad, I'm gonna kill you now. And maybe if we trust Saber and wait for her, we get lucky enough that, like, Tosaka rolls in with Archer or something. Because I don't know how we're surviving without help, frankly. And none of those options are make a mad break for the exit and run away. No, I can't move recklessly. I'm worried about Saber. I want to run to her and see if she's alright. But that means turning my back to Zoken. In this situation, doing so will be fatal. Please protect yourself there, Shiro. That's what Saber said, and I have to make my stand, no matter what.
はあ、なるほどなるほど。良い信頼関係を持ったものじゃ。
I'm not going to let his words tempt me. I tighten my grip on the sword, on the weapon, and concentrate, anticipating his attacks. I just completely misread that
では
sentence.
根比べじゃ。お主の判断が正しかったかどうか、答えを待つがよい。
Murderous intent disappears from Zoken. The old magus steps back and fades away, as if melting into the darkness of the worms. His presence is almost gone. I glare at Zoken, who should still be in front of me. And after 1 minute, I hear wind blowing far off, and sudden pain shoots through my left hand. My left hand is prickling. My command spell is hurting as if it's bleeding. Maybe using the command spell could have saved her from that. I don't know. Seems kind of doubtful, but maybe if we were like, hey, Saber, here, now, she'd be like, okay, not in that mud anymore. That'd be really convenient, huh? I have a bad feeling. I have a bad feeling. A bad feeling. The pain on my left hand. The sound of wind has stopped. The old magus is laughing with murderous intent that is almost visible.
どうやら片付いたようじゃな。 お主もマスターならばわかろう。オノガサーバントがこの世から消滅した事実がな。
My brain stops. My vision freezes. What is this guy saying?
何をほけておる。セイバーは死んだ。格下と侮ったアサシンに敗れた。そんなこともわからんのか、小僧。
What the hell is he saying? My left hand hurts. My left hand certainly hurts. But my command spell is still there. It's fading, but it's still there. Then, Saber should be coming here any second now.
Saber! Kai!
I scream as if to erase the pain on my left hand. I put as much magical energy as I can into my left hand. I don't know how to use the command spell. But if this can answer the Master's wish, it should bring Saber here right away. Not happening. There's no response. The command spell was about to activate, but suddenly stopped. There's nothing wrong with it. If there's a problem, it is on Saber's end.
無駄なこと。レイジュといえど、失われたサーバントを蘇らせることはできん。さて、巡りの悪いお主でも理解できたろう。セイバーはとうに我がサーバントによって死に絶えたわ。ではしまいにするか。当坂の小娘はまだ使い道があるがな。お前はこれで用済みよ、小僧。
言ってんじゃねえぞてめえ
Dang, okay. I do something, Shiro, I hope. I run. I charge at the enemy in front of me, as if to shake off the ominous thought and the pain on my left hand. I charge at Zoken and swing my weapon with full force. I swing my weapon down onto his head. That's a bold attack. But something obstructs me, and my whole body is flung away. My back slams against the wall. I must have been hit in the stomach, as I can't breathe. My back is numb as if scorched with fire. I hear worms crawling about by my ear. Oh no. The worms by the wall scatter to avoid being crushed by my landing. Even the squirming sounds have a mocking tone.
間に合ったか、アサシン。では小僧の始末もお主に任せよ。セーバーに比べれば楽な作業。ゆるりと楽しむがいい。
Zoken disappears, and in his place, a white skull mask is smiling in the darkness. Oh, we're toast. That must be the servant assassin. An assassin with a black outfit and a white mask, appropriate for Mata Zoken. I'm going to die. Pain on my left hand, my numb mind. My heart accepts the death coming in the next moment and pounds loudly. And I accept the weapons thrown in my forehead, throat, heart, and stomach. Oh, not quite. A flash of silver light repels the weapons. The 4 daggers that tried to take my life are blocked with a sword. There's only one person who would do such a thing. My left hand still hurts. The command spell is still there. Then,
バカめ、しくじりおったのか。
what the heck? I raise my head. The one who has come to protect me from the white-masked servant is Archer. No, what? Oh, okay. Shinji said, now I'm killing him myself. Excuse me?
え？
A servant dressed in black, just like Assassin.
ライト
Hello. There's no doubt about it. This is Shinji's servant, Ryder. Why is she here? Why did she save me?
おのれ、わしに逆らうか。構わぬアサシン。邪魔をするのなら、そやつもしますせい。
The skull answers Zoken's screamed command. The long hair flutters. Ryder silently turns to Assassin and... Oh, they duking it out now. Okay. I did not expect to see this matchup, but this is fire. This is still one of my favorite CGs in the game. That's just such a cool pose, I'm not gonna lie. She confronts the daggers that are fired like rain. They move too quickly for mere human eyes to follow. The masked figure leaps about the temple. He jumps from the wall to the ceiling, then from the ceiling to the floor, hurling daggers from each position. Coming from all directions, the daggers can neither be blocked nor avoided. The relentless onslaught carpets the floor in knives within seconds. Ryder can't manage this. I know how strong she is from the battle with Saber. Assassin's attack is something even Saber would have trouble blocking. Nope, that's false, actually. It's natural for Ryder, who was defeated by Saber in one blow, not to be able to cope with the attack. That's not necessarily true. Different servants have different strengths. The White Skull mercilessly fires his weapons. It looks like an attack containing irritation. I realize the abnormality after the superiority is made clear. I have not hit her. Not a single one of the daggers has struck its target.
Sama.
A voice comes from overhead. Apparently out of knives, Assassin looks down at his enemy with undisguised loathing. Man, this is, what, 3 times now this dude's just run out of daggers? Why even bother at that point? Why even bother throwing the daggers if you cannot hit anything with them? There. What the heck? This is a new one. Exists one giant serpent. I can't believe it. So many. Ryder evaded the countless daggers with pure speed. It's different from when she saved me. Ryder avoided all the daggers while crawling on the ground, as if saying there was no need to repel them. Okay, that's a flex.
何を遊んでおるアサシン。我が孫のサーバントといえど容赦はいらん。早々に片付けんか。
それはできない。こやつ。以前とは違う。
Oh, when she came back, she got that power up, huh? Assassin stares at Ryder while clinging to the ceiling. Ryder is different from before. Her magical energy and coercion is on a whole new level. Even if she's still not as strong as Saber, she's certainly stronger than Assassin.
貴様、なぜ
Ryder doesn't answer, but her body sinks even lower. The instant I realize her movement is a gesture to aim at her prey. Ryder jumps up to the ceiling, and Assassin jumps down to the floor, their blades clashing in midair. Yep. That's not the spot you want to be in, huh? They land facing away from each other. Ryder is unwounded. In contrast, Ryder's dagger is piercing Assassin's shoulder.
抜け
Assassin tries to pull out the dagger in his shoulder. Then, with a clinking of chain links, Ryder hurls Assassin through the air. Oh man, that's clean. This fight seems like it would be fire animated. I'm just saying. The skull mask lets out a scream of anguish. Not saying a word, Ryder continues to mercilessly swing Assassin about the room. Oh my god. It's just like a flail. Unable to do anything, Assassin is smashed against every surface in the room, his limbs bending in all directions. I duck to avoid Assassin coming around with a whirlwind. This isn't on a level of being strong. After flailing Assassin to her content, she uses the centrifugal force and lets go. It's a hammer throw. Oh my god. Assassin, his bones broken, is thrown at a wall head first. He flies away. Like a piece of lifeless trash, the masked servant bounces through the compound, out the gate, and down the stairs, leaving a trail of blood behind him. Yeah, no kidding. What did I just witness? How brutal. I'm sure servants aren't so weak as to die from that, but he should be unable to continue fighting at the very least.
愚か者が。
Zokin's presence disappears. The old magus must think he's at a disadvantage, since he flees after snarling a curse at Ryder. The worms that were squirming in the corner disappear, following their master. So, are we going to get an explanation as to why you did that, Ryder? I mean, appreciate it, but... A+ presence concealment. I mean, yeah, that seems about right, but... Throwing daggers, B. Yeah, that is tough. A divine protection from the winds. You hate to see it. That kind of screwed us, huh? No, that's not what Phantasm. Heartbeat of Delusion. The arm of curses. This is the arm of the evil spirit Shaitan, and it has the power to curse people to death. Using a cluster of ether, it creates a dual existence from the reflected figure of the target in a mirror that influences the real target. Huh. By killing the fake that affects the real, it curses the target to death without putting a finger on the target. An assassination technique that ignores any strong physical defenses and destroys the heart. No matter how strong the target's armor, it is meaningless against the heartbeat of delusion. To resist the heartbeat of delusion, rather than relying on constitution, it is essential to have enough magical energy to prevent him from creating the dual existence. Well, I'm going to wager a guess that the name of assassin is Shaitan. Shaitan. I don't know. However you say it. I'm going to wager a guess and say that's what it is, though. The real question is, what is good with Ryder? Superhuman strength, B. Jeez. Increases strength temporarily, an offensive ability that only devils and beasts possess. When activated, strength increases by 1 rank. The duration of the effect depends on the rank of superhuman strength. I think we knew this, right? The independent action, at least. What are the odds that the crackpot theory about Ryder actually being freaking Sakura are actually right? I mean, that seems like a bit of a crackpot theory, but unless we learned that Shinji ordered her to save us, why would she do that? I don't know. If it was Sakura, I could see her doing it. And in retrospect, on the Fate route, she does help us. I don't know. Still seems like a crackpot theory, but I want to get it out there, right? Because I'd rather my crackpot theory be wrong than me make that crackpot theory and be right and be like, guys, I swear, I totally knew this. I totally knew this. Except I never said anything, so why would you believe me? But let's move on, see if we can get some answers as to what the heck just happened. I'm brought back to my senses by the pain from my stomach, where Assassin hit me. Only Ryder and I are in the temple now. I take a deep breath and try to calm down. Then, I realize that the only pain I feel is my stomach and back. Instinctively, I know what that means. I endure the dizziness as I head out to the hallway.
待ちなさい。一人で行動するのは危険です。
You are correct. But that's more concern than I'd expect. Also, we're gonna talk about the fact that this song is playing right now? And is this the song that would play with an interaction with Ryder? In a normal scenario? Never mind. That's dumb. This is the song that plays after we have learned that Saber is likely or certainly dead. Or at the very least gone. So ignore everything I just said about this relating to Ryder. I'm certain it relates to that.
Why?
There's no enmity coming from Ryder. Seems she actually came to help me.
お前どうして
I don't care why she saved me. Well, then why'd you ask? More importantly,
お前はシンジのサーバントだろう。なのにどうして俺を助けてくれたんだ
I want to go there quickly. So why am I taking my time?
あなたを死なせてはいけないと命じられています。
Okay. So those are...
私は主の命に従っただけです。
Those are just her orders then? Okay. I see. That's fine. I don't believe her. But it's good that I got an answer. Yeah, actually, I could totally see that being just complete cap. I mean, beyond the whole, like, I want to kill him myself, why would she be here? And why would she be here without Shinji? What, was she tailing us the whole time? Why wouldn't she have made a move to get Shinji here? Like, how would she have known we were here? I don't know. I feel like there's still a lot of questions, actually. I'm sure some of them I'm just overlooking an answer, but I feel like there are too many questions still unanswered right? Yeah, then it doesn't feel like that actually is a definitive answer to me. I'd agree with Shiro. That does feel like a lie. More importantly, I have to hurry and go there. Is that a new sprite? I don't think I've seen that one before. I understand right away that this is the place. The corridor is dead silent. The whole place is destroyed as if a storm passed by. In it is a small red stain on the only part of the ground that hasn't been destroyed. I can't tell whose blood this is, but my legs lose strength the instant I see it, and I crumble to my knees. I reach out and touch it. The blood is dry, and it doesn't stick to my fingers. The only thing the stain tells me is that she disappeared here.
私の役割はあなたを守ることです、シロ。
God, man. This time it isn't even like Saber's been taken by someone else. This time it's like actually Saber appears to be properly dead. I mean, like, the only time that's actually happened is like in the endings, right? So like this is like unprecedented. And it's really tough because they had a good relationship in this realm. Like, they were really close. It really felt like they were like an excellent tag team, but you know, Saber went out protecting him. Goodness, man. I genuinely cannot believe that. Like, I will say, though, it's starting to feel kind of likely that my theory about Assassin was wrong. I feel like there's no way that against a target like Saber, he wouldn't have used, like, the other powers if he had them. Actually, it feels more like he is purposefully feeding something, right? Whatever was in that lake, right? It seemed like the Grail. Because... what? First kill... The first kill with Ryder's death. That's the hardest one. Because as far as we can tell, it was just Zoken, right, who took Ryder. Maybe I should talk about this after we get through the emotional scene, actually. Let's do that. How many times did I hear that line? Those words were a comfort and a source of worry. She only cared about me. And she never said anything about protecting herself. I scratch at the mark. Saber fought here and fell here. That's what happens in battle. I knew before I made a contract with her that this would be a battle to the death. I accepted the fact and took her hand, and she merely answered me. The girl who protected me, even though she was smaller than me. When I told her I wanted to put priority on the Black Shadow over the Holy Grail, she simply nodded, ignoring the premonitions of her end. And this is the result. I lost her, lost my rights as master, and am back to being just an amateur. I'm now alone with no means of fighting. I have to carry through with what I have to do. I slowly rub the blood stain one last time. That's it. I don't bow or thank her and let my fingers go. Pain assails my left hand, and it disappears. The moment I acknowledge her death and say goodbye, the command spell on my left hand disappears without trace. One does not lose the command spell just because one has lost his servant. It only disappears when the magist loses his right to be a master. I don't know what happened here tonight. There's only one certainty. I lost Saber and lost my rights as a master. Does that mean he can't even get another servant? That could be problematic, huh? That could be problematic. I leave the Ryuudou temple. My stomach and back seem to be wounded badly, but I'm not worried about the pain right now.
送ります。敵がいなくなったとはいえ、夜道の一人歩きは危険ですから。
I stop unintentionally. All of Ryder's words tonight are unexpected.
わからないな。それもお前のマスターの命令か。
いえ、そのような命令は受けてはいません。これは私個人の感情です。ただそう思っただけですので、他意はありません。
Something I'd like to note is that this may seem like a stretch, but specifically to enter Heaven's Feel, you have to make a lot of pro Sakura choices, right? And like the intro of the game, right? And they lead to you taking her home. Am I crazy to think that this could be linked? I don't know. Maybe this theory really does feel like a stretch, like a massive one. But I'm just saying, there are some potential clues, like potential foreshadowing of it. All right. There is like potential evidence, I guess is the best word. I wouldn't be surprised if this one's a mile off. So if you guys are like laughing at me right now, I don't blame you. But if it is right, that's an interesting connection. And it just feels like the basis of this theory really was quite shallow. It was literally just the purple hair, pretty much. I gotta be honest. Just the design. And the fact that this is the only servant that we don't know the identity of, possibly including New Assassin, right? And we're in the last route dedicated to Sakura. Now, that would feel like pulling the same twist twice, essentially. So I don't know. I don't know how much I believe it, but I don't have any other clue as to what her identity could be, so I'm just going to keep seeing I'll probably keep seeing those pieces of evidence that it could be Sakura. No matter how unlikely it is. That they would do essentially the same twist twice. In retrospect, it could also explain the covered eyes, so we can't see the eye color. I don't know. There's definitely actual, like, real evidence. My biggest holdup is that would they really do the same twist, like, twice in a row? I know I've just said that, like, 3 times in a row, but, like, after Unlimited Blade Works, would they really have another person that we're close to or know very well, right, be a servant that is summoned from the future, probably as a guardian? I don't know. Like, I'm sure if it's executed well, I'm not going to be mad about like them using pretty close to the same twist twice. But at the same time, it would be kind of surprising. Ultimately, the safe assumption is probably that this is just some random Valkyrie, but I don't know. I keep seeing the evidence, so I'm definitely not dismissing the fact that it's Sakura. Right? Literally, my biggest holdup is genuinely the concern of repetitiveness, right? And while that is a very valid concern when it comes to writing, right? If the author thinks that the story would be better by having a similar twist, then why would they not use it? Maybe it's a twist meant to show like Sakura's reliance on Shiro, right? Like, what if she became a guardian to follow him or something, and like that was the twist, right? Again, I'm not actually saying that is true, but like, you know, that is an example of the direction you could take that, right? And you know, if that is the direction it is being taken, right, and the author, you know, then like if the author genuinely thinks that's the best way to take this story, why would the fact that this is another character we know becoming a guardian and then a servant, right? Why would they let that hold them back? So I feel like I shouldn't let that completely hold my theory back, but it is like a valid concern, I guess, is my point. Because ultimately, like I said, if the author thinks it's for the best, there's nothing wrong in some repetition, right? Or something similar happening twice. I mean, heck, we just saw Saber disappear again, right? And while it's definitely not the same kind of disappear, right? You know, like the point is Saber did disappear again. So, I don't know. Like some repetition with changes, obviously, right? Could definitely be good for the story, so I definitely shouldn't let that hold my theory back. Anyways, let's move on. I feel like I just said the same thing like 5 times in a row, but whatever.
そっか。それなら信じるけど、見送りはいい。俺たちは敵同士だろう。なら。
敵同士。では、あなたはまだ私たちと戦うつもりですか？セイバーを失った魔術師でもないあなたが。
She's sweating bullets, bro. I don't answer her. First of all, I never said I'm out of this war.
そう。わかりました。せいぜい道中気をつけなさい。
Her long hair flutters. Ryder heads to the mountain gate ahead of me. Is it because she looks so defenseless?
Thank you.
I mutter something I forgot to tell her earlier.
え？
She turns around, looking surprised. I'm embarrassed to see a reaction like that, but I have to properly thank her.
あなたは今、何と言いました？
And she's asking me seriously, too. It's awkward to stare at her straight on, so I avert my gaze.
だから、ありがとうって言ったんだ。お前に助けてもらわなかったら、死んでただろう。見ての通り、今は何も返せない。だから、せめて礼ぐらい言っとかないと、お前に悪い。
お気になさらず。私は主の命に従ったまでです。主の命が変われば、すぐにでもあなたを殺します。
Well, that is true. That is very true. With those cold, emotionless words, Ryder disappears through the mountain gate.
だろうな。だから世話にはならないって言ったんだ。
I start walking after Ryder disappears. I can think later as to why Ryder saved me. It takes an hour to get home. I have to shake off the lingering memory of her in that short time. I return to my house. It's already past 1 o'clock. I put my hand over my mouth as I cough up blood. My stomach still hurts from Assassin's attack, and my back still burns from hitting the wall. I don't know how badly wounded my stomach is, but I remember my back is just scratched. The wounds that healed so quickly before aren't healing at all.
そうか。
Yeah.
以前に戻ったんだよな。
No more sheath. This boy's lost all of his powers, huh? Like, at least in Unlimited Blade Works, we had, like, the hope that, like, he'd fight it out because of his, growing sword skill due to being able to summon Concho and Bakia, right? Or even if he had it that early. Yeah, he had it that early. And the fact that after watching Archer's fighting, he was becoming a good fighter, right? We have no such hope in this route. It suddenly looks even more desolate than Unlimited Blade Works looked. That's great. When I had my contract with Saber, wounds healed themselves, but that's lost. Even a slight wound could prove fatal now.
先輩。
Hello. Then, when I go into the front hallway, I find Sakura waiting for me.
あれ、さくら、どうしたんだこんな夜更けに。もしかして。
いえ、寝つけなくて夜更かししていたんです。そしたら、先輩の靴がなかったから、どこかに出かけたのかなって。
Yeah, that's a long story.
まあ、ちょっと出歩いてた。
Yeah, it's something like that. Come to think of it, Well, I was on when I came home. Then was Sakura waiting here the whole time?
さくら、ずっと玄関で待ってたのか。
いえ、そんなことないです。
Sure.
ちょっとおトイレに寄っただけで、たまたま玄関にいただけですよ。
I definitely believe that. Not. At all. She was waiting here. It's been over 3 hours since Saber and I left. Maybe Sakura noticed right away and was waiting here all this time.
それより先輩、お茶にしませんか？こんな時間ですけど、あったかいお茶を飲んでゆっくりすれば元気が出ますから。
Well, I know he won't. I'm surprised. Sakura's really pushy right now. It must really look terrible if she's forcing herself to act this way.
頼む。それと、ただいま。さくらに声をかけずに出歩いてすまなかった。
I take off my shoes and go into the hallway. I hold my aching stomach and head to the living room. With me in front of her.
はい、おかえりなさい、先輩。
Sakura looks relieved. I wince with pain, but lie on the cushion and bear it. The disinfectant keeps stinging my back. The sizzling sound makes it feel like I'm getting my back scorched.
さくら、痛い。消毒薬はもういいから、傷口を拭いてガーゼでも貼っといてくれ。
ダメです。背中一面真っ赤なんですから、ちゃんと消毒しないといけません。それに、痛いのは当たり前です。
Yeah, boy.
こんな大怪我をして帰ってきたんですから、少しは我慢してください。
You lost your pseudo Wolverine power. Endure the disinfectant, alright? Is it because of the archery club or Fujini that she's merciless towards injured people?
先輩、他に痛むところはありますか？
My heart.
あ、いや、怪我したのは腹と背中だけだ。他はなんともない。
そうですか。なら、あとはガーゼを当ててテーピングするだけですね。
Sakura handles the first aid kit with practiced ease. She looks so intent on it that I don't want to interrupt. Well, let's explain why this is happening. It's because I threw up the tea I drank because it stung my stomach. I didn't want Sakura to find out, but that gave it away. I had no choice but to tell her how badly I was hurt, and now she's treating me. Well, she wasn't that much of a devil to begin with.
怪我ってお腹ですか？
When I showed her my stomach, she was blushing so badly that she couldn't treat me. Oh my.
さくら、本当にいいのか？手当てなら自分でできるし、無理しなくていいぞ。それに背中はもっとひどい。
大丈夫です。やります。やらせてください。
She was so flustered that I half expected her to faint when she saw the wound on my back.
先輩、そのお洋服脱いでください。
The forbidden words. I didn't want to stop Sakura since I couldn't treat my own back. I did as I was told and let her treat me. Still, it was so bad that she couldn't do anything for a while. I don't think that's what it was, bro. She stared at it for a few minutes and started treating me after a gulp.
行きます。
That was 20 minutes ago. It's past 2 o'clock now. Sakura's careful treatment is about to end.
はい、終わりました。新しいシャツを用意しましたから、こっちを着てください。
ああ、もう終わったのか。サンキュー、さくら。
いえ、先輩もお疲れ様でした。
I put on the new shirt and take a deep breath. There's nothing to be done about my stomach, but my back feels much better. I'll sleep face down tonight, and hopefully it'll be better tomorrow.
さて、それじゃ寝るか。こんな夜更けに起こしてすまなかったな。
いえ、そんなことはないんですけど。
What are you looking at? Sakura hangs her head. Seems like she wants to say something, but can't.
さくら、俺がいない間に何かあったのか？
先輩、セイバーさんは帰られたんですか？
That's a surprisingly accurate way to put it, actually, but... That was the question we didn't want to hear. I get dizzy for a second.
セイバーさんは帰られたんですか？
When I hear the words from someone else, the reality of it finally sinks in.
ああ、急な話だけど、あいつは帰った。もう戻ってこない。
I endure my dizziness and answer calmly. It's not like it's a stupid question. Of course you would think something happened if Saber, who was here 4 hours ago, is gone. I have to put on a strong face and act like nothing's wrong.
セイバー、最後にさくらのことを言ってたよ。さくらは思い詰めるタイプだから、もっと気楽に行けってさ。
Man, I should have known that was a death flag. How did I miss that?
そうですか。セイバーさんとは仲直りしたばかりだったのに、お別れを言えなかったのは残念です。
I can't even nod to that. Saber disappeared before I could even say goodbye. The fact makes my heart feel so heavy that I want to vomit. Collaborator for only 6 days. My partner for only 6 days. How can I repay her? The one who was my sword for only 6 days.
でもよかった。あの人が来てから、
No,
先輩、怪我してばかりだったから。
that is
これ
verifiably
で今
false.
まで通りですね、先輩。
Sorry, not true.
そうですよね。何をしていたかは聞きませんけど、先輩はセイバーさんのために出歩いていたんでしょ？
I mean, I guess, but not really.
けど、そのセイバーさんも帰ってしまったんですから、先輩が危ない目に遭うこともないじゃないですか。
False.
いや、セイバーがいなくなっても、夜に出歩くのは続けるけどな。セイバーに付き合ってたんじゃなくて、俺がセイバーを付き合わせてたんだから。
That's a more accurate way to put it. I stand up. My tension is gone now that the treatment is over. I'm getting really sleepy.
先輩。
おやすみ、さくら。それと今の話な。明日からもっと家を留守にするだろうけど、さくらは今まで通りここを使ってくれ。
She's gonna follow us.
今夜みたいに帰りが遅くなる時もあるけど、気にせずちゃんと眠ること。さっきみたいにずっと玄関で待ってるってのはなしだぞ。
はい。おやすみなさい、先輩。
That's the last thing she wanted to hear. I rest my body. I didn't feel it until now, but I'm dead tired. Drowsiness overtakes me the moment I lay down. But before I do so, I glare into the darkness to prepare myself. What Saber lost against, and what I should be fighting. I have to accept them here and now. It hurts just to think about it. My body's trembling, and my mind is about to lose against anger or fear.
俺が戦うべき相手。
It's that shadow. That thing that attacks people without discrimination. The black shadow that even Saber and Archer fear. I know with certainty, even though I didn't see it. That is what defeated Saber. It is. As far as I can tell. Assassin cannot defeat Saber. So if there's something at the temple that can defeat her, it's that shadow. I have to beat the thing that beats Saber. On top of that, I'll have to deal with Mato Zoken and Assassin. Zoken said there's no more use for me now that I'm no longer a master. But so long as I stay in the Holy Grail War and search for the shadow, Zoken will continue to haunt me. A shiver runs through my body. Saber's not with me anymore. I have no miracle that heals my wounds, and the only weapon I have is magic as a half-assed magus. I know this is a reckless, suicidal choice.
戦うと決めた。正義の味方になるって言ったんだ。
I lost Saber because of that. I've walked in Kiritsugu's footsteps ever since the fire because of that. My only option is to stop the war so such a disaster will not occur again. So this will be the only night that I'll tremble in fear. When my wound heals and morning comes, I have to act strong so the girl who disappeared can be proud of me. Dang. Interlude. Oh lord. Before we move on, what the heck was I talking about earlier? right in the middle of the scene where we were trying to say goodbye to Saber. Talking about, oh, right, the disappearances of the servants. So that is now at least Lancer and Saber who have been 100% absorbed by that shadow. And we don't know about Caster. It seems like Zoken took Caster, but I don't know. The question is, why is that thing absorbing servants? Because at this point, I'm going to say my guess about Assassin's wrong. He is not a man of no face and many faces. He's just trash. Okay, not quite. He defeated Saber in a roundabout way, even if it required the use of the shadow. But he did defeat Saber, so can't call him trash. But not quite what I was thinking. At this point, it just feels so unlikely. That I'm not willing to bank on it. I don't think at the time I had considered the shadow, like in the tentacle monster thing, right in the pond. I don't think I had considered them an assassin, separate entities. So I assumed that any power or anything absorbed by that thing was absorbed by assassin. So at this point, I think we can safely say that theory is just wrong. And instead, we need to wonder why the heck that thing is absorbing servants. Is it just for magical energy? Is it just a roundabout way to kill them? I feel like no, it's not just a roundabout way to kill them. That just doesn't seem like it would make the most sense to me. Maybe Assassin is just using it as a weapon, right? And has twice now. It's possible, but it's not my first explanation, honestly. Just, it feels like there I don't know, better explanations than that. I mean, yeah, I knew what a dirk was. But, I mean, the thing is, we don't know the explanation, why the servants are being absorbed like that. So we'll just have to keep playing and we'll see eventually. So let's just get back to this interlude. The girl returns to her room. She walks with heavy steps to her bed and sits on it.
先輩、あんな怪我をしたのに、まだ。
She doesn't know what happened. The boy looked as lifeless as a starving man, and his body was covered with wounds. The golden-haired girl who first appeared here several days ago has not returned. From this, she can tell something has happened that can never be undone. The boy is hiding something, and the golden-haired girl will not return as a result. But such things don't matter. For her, such things are trivial. She doesn't know what happened, but it's fine as long as the boy is safe. For her, having Emiyashiro come home is an unparalleled joy.
あれ、今日言えるのかな。
This again? She shivers and brings her hand up to her forehead. It's hot. Her body is burning up, and she has to fight to remain conscious. It must be a light cold. She rarely gets sick, but after waiting in the hallway for nearly 3 hours, it's hardly a surprise. Yeah, she did. Yeah, it's not that surprising that she waited the whole time, but... With sluggish movements, she reaches over and turns off the light. She lets herself fall to the bed, lacking even the energy to change clothes.
大丈夫。こんなの、先輩に比べたら全然だし。
Even if that is quite possibly true, it's still a very real cause for concern as to what the heck is going on with Sakura. The girl recalls what she saw a few minutes ago. The wounds on his back, almost as if the flesh had been grated. The blackening bruise on his stomach. His eyes, still strong and clear in spite of his condition. Her temperature rises, she remembers, The girl pretends not to notice that it stems from the hatred she feels.
誰があんな。
Yes, she doesn't know who did it, but she can't forgive this person. It's not temporary dislike or annoyance. He has been wounded all this time, but he has stayed beautiful. She cannot forgive anyone that hurts someone important to her.
けど、先輩の背中、すごかったな。
She reaches out her hand in a daze. It's It's been a while since she last saw his naked skin so close. When they first met, he was small for a boy and was about as tall as her. But in the 2 years since then, he has grown into a man. It's different from when he collapsed from a cold. Back then, it was a cold and nothing more. Tonight, it was the body of a wounded man. Thinking about it causes her to space out. He must train without a day's rest. His body is sturdily built, without even an ounce of useless muscle. His graceful build is like that of an antelope. It has the beauty of having inner strength, one that allows it to jump up precipices that is not apparent.
胸だって広かったし、すごく男の人だった。
Her outstretched fingers run across the chest that is not here. She unconsciously runs her fingers across his body. They run from his chest to the nape of his neck. Crawling across the bedsheets, her fingers travel to the lips and... Her face turns bright red. I diagnose you with horny. She quickly pulls her hand back. She even turns her ears red and curls up on the bed. How do you turn your ears red? Is it just like a skill she has? It shouldn't be this embarrassing, but her memory is too vivid. The feel of his skin beneath her fingertips only made her imagination more concrete. I just have a feeling that this scene is strange without the censor, so we're gonna check later. The feel of his skin beneath her fingertips only made her imagination more concrete. She clenches her fingers tightly. Her face, fingers, and body grow feverish. She can only think of one thing. She brings her fist up to her chest, as if embracing the sensation remaining on her fingertips. She bears the feverish heat boiling up inside her. If she lets this heat overtake her, she will not be able to stop. If that happens, even the single thought she clings to will become unthinkable. The confusion and guilt towards the boy corner her even further. His wounded body. Just thinking of the traces of blood on his back make her dizzy. The girl who won't be coming back. The realization of that, once again, is all hers. Many lies. The dark emotions, unthinkable for her usual self, draw her down into a darker place, as if to show her the joy awaiting her at its depths. The realization that once again he is all hers. Yeah, that's a foul realization to make right now. Okay, well, she doesn't know that Saber's dead. She just went home. Like, that's a fair thing to think, I suppose.
Senpai.
Saying that word, she tries to shut out the dark emotions. How long will she be able to keep them out? She hugs herself hard enough to hurt her chest. The thoughts seethe inside the girl's heart. What she's truly glad about, what really relieves her, is that the boy has come back to her. But it's not enough. Tonight made that clear. He cares for her, but he tries to protect her by keeping her away. She puts her thoughts into words. She knows it's a greedy wish. It is a wish she should never speak of, a wish that will never come true, and for that reason... She repents aloud. She repents her vulgarity of being pleased that the boy was that hurt. She repents that she wasted his efforts to protect her for the sake of her own delight. It must be betrayal for someone like her to want to be with him. So, she apologizes. The repentance and apology cool off her fever. Sheesh. Vulgarity of being pleased that the boy was hurt. She was happy he got hurt. Well, because she got to take care of him, I'd assume. Not because she actually wants him to be hurt. She repents as she wasted his efforts to protect her for the sake of her own delight. I'm trying to figure out what exactly that line means. In what way did she waste his efforts? And the next line, it must be a betrayal for someone like her to want to be with him. That's either like absolute zero self-confidence, which is a very real thing, or she has some kind of like dark secret, which she was talking about, like dark thoughts, right? Dark emotions. I mean, doesn't mean she has some like crazy dark secret, but something to think about. I'm not sure what all of these lines mean, but we'll see. I'm sure with due time they'll make more sense to me. She curls up in the bed, soaked with sweat. Her self-loathing awakens her from the strangely excited heat. Though her fever cools, a heavy worry remains. The wounded body. He said he intends to continue fighting, even after receiving such wounds.
どうすればいいんだろう。先輩、このままだともっと大きな怪我をしちゃう。
Oh yeah, he will. She thinks as her body sweats. It's a worry without an answer, a problem the girl cannot solve. She cannot come up with a way to stop him, even if she thinks all night. But...
なんだ。外に出さなければいいんだ。
Well, yes, but... She reaches a simple answer with a calm voice. What's the plan to do that? Delighted by her sudden insight, she smiles and...
歩けなくなるくらいの怪我をしちゃえば、もう危ない目に遭うことはないですよね。先輩。
I'm sorry. What the fuck? I try not to curse on the channel, but what? 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 Well, I suppose that certainly is true, but it's not the line I would have ever expected to see. What the heck just happened? What? Man, I was just talking about how, like, those dark emotions didn't mean much, huh? That's cap. I'm wrong. They meant a lot. Whispers to herself with a sigh of relief. That's the interlude. Oh my god. What? What? Oh, another one. Good lord. Ooh, okay. That was actually... Wait. Okay, is this Kodamine? For some reason, for a second I was thinking Ilia. But this is the church on top of the hill, I think, like the song. It is a room that smells of stone. The light is not artificial, but natural. The lamp's flame shines on the man's back and illuminates the parchment in his hand.
教会とやらへの報告書か。お前も忙しい男だな、琴峰。
Yeah. The voice comes from behind him without revealing its source. The man on the chair, Kodamine Kirei, moves on to his next task without the slightest reaction.
ほう。例の簒奪者についてだな。どれ？被害者はすでに57人。
Yeah.
うち死亡者は5名ときたか。
So what? Are they talking about the shadow right now? I take it?
これは多い方なのか、琴峰。
I'd assume they are. It's interesting to see their concern about it.
この段階では何とも言えん。これほど大規模な意識不明事件は初めてだが、それでとどまるのなら問題はない。どちらの教会もこの程度の後処理は承知の上だ。だが
それも今のままのペースならか。どこの誰だか知らんが派手にやってくれる。
Oh man, I think Gilgamesh might be about to get involved. That'd be something.
気づいているのか琴峰。このまま放っておけばこの町は無人になるぞ。
Kotomine does not answer. He knows what the man wants to say. The strange shadow that appeared in this town. It's only sucking up life force right now, but the amount is increasing by the day. The abnormality that first surfaced 2 days ago will exceed the regulated allowances in a few days. For the moment, it only causes dyspnea. But it should soon be enough to kill even a healthy adult male in one night.
だがその心配は無用だ。素人ではあるまいし、再現を知らぬというわけでもあるまい。
そうかな。あの虫使いはそうでもなさそうだが、あの手の輩は早めに潰さねばたたるぞ。俺とておめおめと町の人間を殺されるのは性に合わぬ。
I mean, unless it's the Grail, I guess. Wasn't he the one who was just talking about letting humanity drown in the Grail in Unlimited Blade Works? Did I misunderstand him? I might have. Maybe I did. But I swear he was just talking about, like, survival of the fittest, basically. This statement takes Kotomine by surprise. Okay, so it's not just me. This man, who does not care about anyone else, is concerned for the people.
驚いたな。どういう風の吹き回しだ、ギルガメッシュ。
驚くことはあるまい。俺以外の者が人を殺めることをよしとはせん。人が人をほふらばつまらぬ財閥で迷おう。その手の苦しみは楽しくもないからな。
Yeah, that's the Gilgamesh I remember.
なるほど。お前はお前でやはり英霊だな。生の苦より救うために死を使う。ならば、お前の望みはやはり死か。
That is kind of what he just said, huh? Actually, I missed that. I did not make that read. Huh.
当然だ。ここは無意味で無価値なものばかりだからな。一掃するのが正義というものだろ
う。Huh. His scorning voice is filled with absolute dominance and dignity. The priest does not stop his work as he listens.
な、そう望むのなら、聖杯はお前が使うがいい。お前を打倒する者が現れない限り、聖杯はお前のものだ。
琴峰、お前には望みがないのか。
明確な願いなどない。私にあるものは、明確な快楽を欲する己のみだ。
そうか。お前には快楽のみか。
The man starts laughing at the simple answer. It's as if he's delighted and proud of his partner.
よいぞ。俺はおぞましいから殺し、お前は楽しいから殺す。理由は違えど、聖杯に求めるものは同じ。なればこそ、俺をここまでつなぎ止めたというわけだな。
The priest does not answer. He merely continues his work.
お前が動かぬのならばそれでもよい。せいぜい好きにさせてもらうぞ。
The man's presence disappears. The priest glances at the exit of the silent stone room.
酔っているように見えて、真は正気のままか。あの泥もあれの魂までは汚染できなかったと見える。
Boy, his soul looks polluted to me, but I guess, like he was saying, this is like an interesting side of Gilgamesh. I feel like we did not see this in either of the other routes, or maybe we did, and it just whooped right over my head. Because he's not even really wrong, right? I mean, I'm not gonna act like death is the normal way to go about freeing people from, like, from existence, right? That what he thinks is a miserable existence, right? I'm not gonna act like that would be my preferred way to go about that, but it's just kind of like his own, like, dark way, I guess. It's just interesting. It doesn't make him less of a villain. It's just interesting. He's not completely corrupted, I suppose. King of Heroes, Gilgamesh. The Golden Servant is the most powerful being at this point in time. The fact is accepted as truth by all. Even Kodamine, the game master himself, does not doubt it.
無価値なものはあるが、無意味なものなどない。注意するのだな、英雄を。お前に敗北を与えるものがあるとすれば、それはその一点のみだろう。
His monologue does not reach anyone. Lit by the dim light, the priest resembles a prophet seeing into the future. Gilgamesh going out on his own? I suppose. Alright, 2-8. If I wanted to, I could make this a short video and end it here. And then we are starting at new days from now on. On one hand, I'm gonna keep playing. On the other, do I have it in me to play for like another 2 hours and get to the point where I'm like really getting through like a full cycle, I guess, of like story beats? I don't know. Let's just see what'll happen when I left click. Like, are we just waking up? Yeah. I think we're just gonna end it here. I hate to end it here. I really do. But I think at this point, we're at the point where from now on, I can do every episode goes full through like a full cycle of like plot, right? And we'll start at like a kind of slow point and then build up to the crazy, right? Instead of where the last few episodes have been, where it starts with a crazy and then kind of drops down until maybe last second it gets crazy again, or is about to get crazy again. I don't know. Maybe I just prefer my crazy at the end of episodes. But we're going to wrap this one up, even if this is a short one. This is definitely pretty short by my standards at this point. But I think it's for the best. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the video, short or not. I thought it was excellent. This was an excellent episode. The flight of the Ryuudou Temple. I mean, what else is there to say, right, that I haven't already said a lot about, right? Saber's gone. Saber's just gone, man. I mean, that's unbelievable. We saw her converted in Unlimited Blade Works, but it's different. Wait, she's just gone, you know? This isn't we can convert her back if we're really lucky and we'll have a chance. This is Saber is well and truly gone. We have lost our rights as a master. Like, what do we do now? Where do we go from here? How do we plan on defeating the shadow? How do we plan on... Whoa, I just got a really weird pain in my teeth. Ow. The heck was that? How do we plan on defeating the shadow? How do we plan on winning maybe not winning the war, but as always, preventing some tragedy from striking, which is just the shadow. How are we going to do that? We don't have the ability to project yet. Sure, he can't use projection at this point. He was using strengthening in this episode. He clearly does not know projection right now. That means he cannot project Kancho Bakuya, his weapons of Bakuya, not Bakuya. Bakuya. I don't know what I said, but it was not Bakuya. Whatever. And Bakuya, right? His weapons of choice. That's the point. He has no way to actually summon them. And even if he did, he doesn't know how to use them, right? He hasn't seen Archer, right, like, fight in this route. He wasn't mesmerized by Archer's fighting like he was in Unlimited Blade Works, right? So he has, by himself, he is not a real threat, right? He doesn't have the healing anymore. He doesn't have a servant anymore. He himself is not a threat. What the heck is he going to do? Feels like he's going to have to rely on, like, Tosaka or Ilya. Probably Ilya. A lot on Ilya, I think, late game. Because we've seen the flash into when she showed us her house. we saw them talking about the third, or the dress, right? I feel like it was third, but I don't actually know. The dress that they called Heaven's Feel. And wow, where have I heard that name before? Right? So that just feels like Illy's gonna be very relevant to me with whatever that is. Like, I'm gonna guess it's some kind of weapon. Has to be, right? I'm not gonna pretend to have any clue what the heck it is, but I mean, that feels like our only real chance from here. We're extremely lucky to even have this chance. Something else worth mentioning, Ryder saved our life. Maybe she actually had orders from Shinji, but Shiro doesn't believe it. I'm loath to believe it. Given what we saw in the interlude with Tosaka, the only reason Shinji would be like, yes, do not let him die, would be next. The next part is, so I can kill him myself. Why would she not have brought us back to Shinji's manor, right? If that was the next step of that plan. I don't know. I think you guys at this point have heard my potential theory that that Ryder is Sakura. It doesn't have a ton of evidence, but there actually is some evidence. I don't know. There's some minor evidence, mainly anecdotal stuff, I feel, that could just be me reaching. And I very well could be. Maybe I look like an idiot right now for even suggesting this. But it's something to keep in mind, right? I'm not going to write it off just because of the idea that it'd be too repetitive to have a second character be have a second character be a servant. That's what I was looking for. I don't know how I drew a blank on that. Right, I'm not going to write it off just because that'd be kind of like the same as Unlimited Blade Works. It very well could just be like a normal Valkyrie, right? It very well could be. Don't get me wrong. I mean, that seems like a very strong possibility as to who this is. Very likely, actually. I don't remember everything we saw about her in the Fate route, but I'm going to guess I could probably narrow her identity down, or either confirm or deny the possibility of it being Sakura based on our interactions with her in the Fate route. Because I genuinely don't remember if she ever mentioned, like, what time she was from. I feel like it's very possible. Let's go ahead and return to the main menu. If we go to extra, and then status. Go to Ryder. I know we don't have a ton of info about her. Has some divinity. Not much. It's mostly degenerated. Reigns of the Heroic Cavalry. I don't know. The more I think about it, the more I kind of doubt it. I could very well see me being a mile off, but it's just something fun to think about, so I'm going to keep mentioning it as a possibility. I would not be surprised in the slightest if I am not even close to correct. Don't get me wrong. But it's something I'll just keep discussing as long as I see the potential, right? But obviously beyond that theory, right, there's a lot more we saw with Sakura in this episode. So first of all was, you know, she helped Shiro out, right, and was acting kind of weird, you know, upon seeing his back, whatnot. But then we get to the scene in her room, where first of all, she's having some thoughts, some interesting thoughts about Shiro, and like his like naked back, right, which whatever, and then she starts talking about these dark emotions, and you just kind of get the sense that something's strange here. Then she said some lines like, I don't remember exactly what it was, but like, it You know, she was talking about how she ruined his efforts and how she was glad he got hurt. And I was like, excuse me? Like, that's weird. And then she reached a simple solution, right? To indulge her greedy wish to have him by her side. To hurt him so bad that he can't leave the house. I can't say I expected that from Sakura, man. I certainly did not see that coming. But in a twisted way, I guess it makes sense. Feels like in a lot of ways she's just probably really reliant on him and willing to do whatever it takes to get him to stay, you know? And I mean, I'm not gonna sit there and like justify her actions, but I guess in a way it makes sense. It's horrible though. Just, ooh, man, what the heck is she gonna do? Like, I don't know, man. We'll see, I'm sure. But that scene was something. But next up, we have the other interlude with Gilgamesh. The main thing I drew from that is, first of all, they're on the move, right? Look, Kodamine is trying to get the Magic Association in on this, it seems. Like, whoa, hey, something's going wrong here. Like, we either need to report this or we need your help to shut it down, right? Something along the lines of that. I don't know exactly what he's writing for, what his intention is by writing that. Maybe it is just a report, right? But something to keep in mind that maybe they'll come into play. I think the more relevant thing is that Gilgamesh clearly has some part of his heroic soul left, frankly, first of all. Based on the way he was, like, in a twisted way, trying to protect everyone, right? Very, very twisted, right? His reasoning. But at the end of the day, he did want to protect everyone, and that's kind of interesting. He wanted to protect them from dying to someone else, because he wanted to kill them to stop their meaningless existence. Very interesting. Again, not justified, just interesting to think about. But beyond just what we've seen of Gilgamesh as, like, new stuff about Gilgamesh as a character, it's important to note that, I mean, he's on the move, right? And Kodamine seemed kind of worried that he might be overconfident, really. That he might be overconfident, right? And it might lead to his death. So I don't know. A lot of interesting stuff again for the future that happened in this episode, but just a lot of big stuff for this episode happened this episode. This isn't the oh man, it's crazy, it's setting up for crazy stuff, that's all this episode really did. No, that's not all it did. This episode was huge in its own right and sets up for some interesting, very interesting future implications. So that's why this was an amazing episode. One of my favorites. I feel like I say that a lot, right? Truly, this game is just excellent all the time. But anyways, that is all for this episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Sorry, like I said, I know this one's a little shorter. It's still decently long. But from now on, I'm hoping to keep the episodes, you know, about the length of like major plot beats. And so I feel like this was a good place to stop. No clue when I'll be able to record again. Hopefully soon. I don't think I have anything particular like happening anytime soon, so I should be able to record. But you know, no promises. Like maybe school stuff comes up and I can't. But hopefully I'll be able to record again soon. Whenever I'm able to record again soon, I hope to see you guys there as we continue to explore Heaven's Feel and resolve some more of these mysteries. But until then, peace.